Hey guys, today we're talking about squats, and I'm just going to run through some how-to and just a couple of tips and just break down the fundamental of doing the squat. Yeah guys, like once again, like bench, dead, most important thing, can't stress to you enough, is about hand placement with the barbell, feet placement with the barbell. So if you can't get that stuff right to start with, you know, like they're the most important things, and spend some time working them out and just experiment. Once you get that right, you know, you really excel with the lift. So, yeah, once again, hands are everything, okay? And then if you're in the rack, once again, make sure you've got your J-hook, right, with the barbell sitting in. Make sure you got that right height. So what I'm looking for when I do a squat is trying to set everything up. You can see here, just kind of like armpit region, yeah? That's pretty much like, you know, sort of where you need to be. And I'll explain why. Because when you're trying to put the barbell, you know, in the rack and also trying to take it out of the rack, you don't want to have the problem of, you know, that you've got to rise up onto your tippy toes to try and get it in the rack, or B, you've got to try and do that to exit the rack. Okay, I always have a principle on that. It's easier to try and fall in the rack, right? So it's easier if the J hook is lower. It's easier, especially when your legs are cooked, right? And you finish, if you've done squats and you're finishing off that 12 rep, 10 rep, or whatever weight you are, and your legs are like, you know, they're short. It's easier to try and fall in the rack when your legs are like jelly than to try and find the J-hook. I like spotter's arms. So, yeah, good, you know, like just, especially if you're really pushing, you're going towards failure, you just don't have to worry, right? And it's just there, just a good thing. So just that's kind of out of my mind about like the barbell and falling, if it, you know what I mean, and just trying to get that out of the way. So if you're not using spotter's arms, good thing to use, yeah, if you're really going to start pushing yourself. So, how to approach the bar? Well, first up, I got the wrong shoes on for this. So, you know, like runners probably, they're not as good in a way of, because it's too much cushion. So it's all about having a good foundation, right? And having solid platform. So, one, you're better off, you know, trying to lift with bare feet or Converse, you know, or lifters. You can get away with, like, you know, your CrossFit shoe. Like, if I was doing this, depending on repetition, I'd probably use my Nanos. They're my shoe, I like them. And depending on what workout we're doing, if we're doing like heavier stuff, I use my lifters. So it's got a high heel on them. I like my Nike lifters. Anyway, so that's what I would be using here for this. So it's just about having the right tools for the job. I use my booty band a lot, my mini band, or booty band, whatever one, to do a lot of glute activation. You'll find that if I don't end up having a sore back, or my glutes don't fire enough. So I would highly recommend, you know, for deadlift, for bench, using your mini band to try and get your glutes fired up. Because it's not only sometimes that the muscle's there and it's strong, but sometimes our nervous system can't activate the right muscle groups. So that's sometimes the issue that we have there. All right. So when you're setting up the barbell and you're setting yourself up, so from here, hands on bar, right? And then from here, you're pulling yourself under the rack. So we're going from here up under. Alright, I might take these weights off quickly. I'll show this weight off and I'll show you. So from here, alright. So always use lock collars for squats, never with bench, because if you're stuck under the bench, you can always tip the weights off. So from here, we're going from here up under, alright, you can see, and just pull that barbell into position. So you've got your back shelf, so that's where your hand placement is crucial, because you want to try and create a good back shelf for the bar to sit on. You don't want your hands wide, otherwise it's too hard for your barbell sitting on your back. So you have a normal part and then you have a low bar. So some people may struggle with like a low bar position for the barbell. So from here, barbell coming onto back, right? And then from here, nice and tight, one step back, exiting from the rack. So you'll be here nice and close, just trying to talk to the video. From here, you want to work on big breath, stomach out. So stomach out, having nice and tight, good activation. And then from here, driving down through the squat, pushing through heels, and then coming back up. Now you want to work on the concept, guys, on like trying to scrunch your toes, like you're trying to pull up sand with your feet. When you do that, that'll help you give really good heel pressure. So then try and push. Now the last tip I'm going to give you is that when you're in through the squat and you're in the bottom of the squat, keeping that stomach out, try and pull the barbell back down. So when you're from here, you're trying to pull the barbell down, which is going to help you slingshot out of the squat and trying to drive up. Okay, and then walking into the rack. Don't look for the J hook. Just walk straight forward in. All right, so that way you don't misplace with it and put the barbell back in the rack. So guys, they're kind of the basics on doing a squat. And from here, if you can remember about placement of hands and feet, working on stomach out, big breath, stomach out, activation, pushing the floor away from you, whichever one you engage with, and trying to slingshot up out of the squat, right? You're going to really excel with all your lifts that way, all right? And then go from there.